This is episode 16 of the Super Parent Syndrome, and I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning, with special guest Alisha Fanning. And today we talk about how meditation is not for the weak.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving, and while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
Hello, my beautiful, brave parents out there. This is Dr. Nick Fanning, joined again with me, my very special guest, Mrs. Alisha Fanning, who is on her second podcast with me. I was able to bribe her / win a bet to make her actually do a podcast with me. But today we're going to be talking about a big passion of hers, which is meditation. Now, she and I have recently come to fisticuffs about what actual meditation is. And so I'm going to first start with what I've been talking about on my podcast, which is actually, I'm going to admit right now on my podcast that I was wrong. So meditation is something vastly different from what I've been doing. In fact, what I've been doing and what I've been preaching on this podcast is actually taking moments of yourself for deep introspection and reflection, and using the purpose and mindfulness to actually drive future action. So what I mean by that is, if I have 2 minutes before the bell rings, I have to pick up the kids, I take that 2 minutes to really deeply think about what I want that interaction to be like and how I'm going to set the tone for the rest of the time there. Or if the kids are going absolutely nuts and they're crying and they're screaming and they're biting and they're fighting and just everything's going nuts and I'm just losing my mind, to honestly just give myself and say, okay, I'm going to time out, I'm going to go to the bathroom, or I'm going to step aside and really think like, what the heck is going wrong? Why are my kids acting like this? Why am I reacting like this? And what can I do to make sure that I purposely move on forward? And then, of course, in business and interactions with anybody, I would take time to really think, okay, what's at stake? What's my purpose? How do I want to make them feel? What is really going to be the outcome that's driven out here? Now, folks, that's all fine and dandy, but that's not meditation. That's just purpose and setting intent, which there's nothing wrong with it. And in fact, you should be doing that and setting up certain times of your days where you're doing that. But that is not meditation. So, lovely wife of mine, why don't you tell the good people what meditation truly is?
Yeah, so first thing is I'm talking about mindfulness meditation. There are lots of different types of meditation. Some religious, some not religious. This one is, we're just talking strictly about mindfulness meditation today. So when we talk about mindfulness meditation, I think that some people have false ideas of what to expect when they go in to do this meditation. I would say the majority of people think or feel as if they should go into a meditation and sit and be completely still and at peace and have no thoughts whatsoever. And that couldn't be the farthest thing from the truth. Mindfulness meditation is actually a practice where you go and you sit with yourself and whatever you might bring to the table. So what that means is you can be cranky during your meditation. You acknowledge it. You don't try to change it. You don't think about it. You just notice it and let it move on. And that can go with any different type of emotion, anything you're feeling. The mindfulness meditation that I practice just really focuses on doing a body scan, just being really aware of yourself, also of your emotion, and then just really breathing and letting whatever comes into your mind come into your mind. You might just nod at it and, not even accepting it or declining it, but just noticing that it's there and letting it pass. It's just really taking time to just be with yourself.
And what's the benefit of that?
So there's lots of different benefits. For me, it's helped immensely with my anxiety.
Okay.
Also to be just more calm and relaxed and more mindful. But we talked about earlier, it's helped me being able to respond and not react to things.
Expand on that.
So an example would be, a couple examples is, if I'm driving in traffic, someone cuts me off and I instantly want to be mad at them, I'm more mindful now. I can step back and think about how I want to respond to that versus just reacting out of anger. Where it's most helpful is being a mom. Because there are times when my kids do that. One will just plow the other one over, whatever it might be. And before, it was really easy for me to just kind of react out of anger for what was going on. But I'm more mindful now. I'm able to stop and think about how I want to respond to a situation. Because it's not always best to just blow up.
Right. Okay. So what's this kind of look like in your everyday life as far as meditation goes?
My meditation practice, I have no schedule whatsoever. I fit it in whenever I can. Ideally, in a perfect world, I would love to meditate first thing in the morning when I woke up, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's after nap. Sometimes it's before bed, although that doesn't always work because I tend to fall asleep, which is okay too.
Right.
I love the morning, and most people would agree that meditation first thing in the morning is the most beneficial. Kind of sets the tone for the day.
So really, you just wake up, bring whatever your emotions and whatever thoughts you have, and you just grab your spot and deal with it.
It's way better than first thing in the morning getting on social media or reading whatever's on the news.
Absolutely.
It's,
All right, that's a good point.
Yeah, mind-body connection is huge, and if you can do that first thing in the morning, you're set a much better stage for yourself, for your family, for your husband, for your kids, anybody, coworkers.
Now, I'm gonna enter the mind of some of our audience members. They're probably thinking like, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. And here's the thing: I'm a driver, and for me to think about just sitting down with my thoughts and feelings without actually having a purpose to it, really just sounds kind of, just awful. Okay, but I can tell you guys, especially men, this is not a feminine thing. Ladies, this is not designed to be just a female-based thing. Both sides, both sexes can gain a lot from just really doing a self-check-in and getting in touch with, okay, what is really going on around me? And no more disconnection, but real true connection, that mind-body connection.
And mindfulness doesn't have to be a practice where you sit for 45 minutes. People think that meditation is the Buddhist monk on top of the mountain meditating, but I do it in the car sometimes.
Yeah.
If I start to, feel angry or anxious, it's really just, okay, I notice that I'm feeling anxious right now. Okay. I guess that's going to be what it is going to be for a minute. It's not me trying to change it. It's not me trying to figure out why. Because a lot of times our subconscious gives us things we don't even know what they're there for. So acknowledging is one of the biggest things we can do. And just sometimes letting it pass. Mm-hmm. And that takes 2 seconds in the car for me. 2 minutes, maybe. My other practice, sometimes 35, 45 minutes, if I can. Sometimes I get interrupted. Sometimes I don't.
I was going to say, how do you ever find 45 minutes?
Yeah. It's scheduling time. It took you telling me that you would keep the kids in the living room. Right. And me having to turn all the fans on so I couldn't hear the, dance party or the screaming for bath time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, as far for you, how do you actually practice meditation? I mean, do you have a space? I mean, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. I have a space in our bedroom. It is seriously like a 4 foot by 4 foot piece of green carpet that sits on our floor. It's puke green. It's, I have a couple plants. I have my meditation pillow. I have my Tibetan singing bowl, but it doesn't have to be that for everybody. Mm-hmm. It can be a spot on your bed. It can be a really grandiose entire room. Right. It's where you feel comfortable, really. Yep. That's the whole point.
I'll agree with that because what I do is, with my intention sessions that I have, 2-3 minutes or even up to 10 minutes, I use an object to center me. I don't have a place because, I'm go. There's not a place where I'm going to sit down and do this sort of thing. So I actually use my wedding ring. I take my wedding ring off, I put it in my right hand, and I roll it between my thumb and forefinger. And that kind of centers me to a position or a time and place where I'm not going to get distracted. I'm not going to go off in the ways. And I just do that during, I don't know if it started as a nervous habit, I think, but what has really grown into is, okay, this is my time. This is what we're going to do. Let's get down to business and let's really drive some action. And during the session where I actually do meditate now, where it's just a quiet time, centering myself and doing my best not to try to control things, which is incredibly tough for me, but just letting things happen. I also do the same thing there, which then I think the only sense of control I have is how fast I spin the ring and watch the timer. But at the same time, as I can tell you that as far as focus in business and productivity, it's quadrupled me. Yeah. So how about you? What benefits have you seen in your everyday life?
Like I said, the most important thing was the respond versus react. Mm-hmm. But my anxiety levels have gone way down. I'm calmer in the sense that things don't bother me as much. Right. I can fall asleep faster. But more importantly, my self-awareness is much higher, which is good. Sometimes it's not good because when you're self-aware, sometimes you can nitpick, I guess. But it's important so that things don't just all of a sudden bubble over and explode.
Yeah, no bottling up and then like big explosion of emotional crying soapiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, so do we have a challenge for our fine folks listening out there?
Yeah, I would say if you're open to meditation, I would say give it a try, even if you're not. Give it 2 weeks. There's lots of good apps out there, even just on your smartphones. That's what I use.
So why don't you tell them some of your favorites?
Yeah, so guided meditation. Ben Rubin, for any of you, men especially, who think that meditation is crazy and doesn't work, it's called 10% Happier Meditation for Skeptics, and it's hilarious. They use a lot of humor in it. That's a great one. The one that I use and personally recommend is called Headspace.
Yep.
That's guided meditation, and you can set timers for how long you want it to be, between 10 and 20 minutes. They have a 10-day free trial. It's fantastic. And then the other one is Buddhify, which is also a really good one. I know that Buddhist is in the name, but it is just mindfulness meditation.
Right.
So those are really good too. And then the podcast, The Art of Authenticity, is just awesome. They talk about meditation in there too.
Nice. Any books you recommend? Have you found any?
Some
of the ones I like is Ram Dass is the guru of meditation. He goes into it, and then also for the Christians out there, like do Christian contemplation, which is prayer and then you listen for God. It's called Christian Contemplation by Thomas Keating. Those are a couple of the ones I recommend.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts that we want to leave everybody?
No, I think that taking time for yourself, I know we talked about this in an earlier podcast, but you should not feel guilty for taking time for yourself. You're the most, for me, that's the most important part for my kids during the day, is that I'm able and willing to be able to be the best I can be for them, and this just helps me get one step higher.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I really truly appreciate you joining me again today. Yeah, I know. You have to wonder. I know you don't love this, but at the same time, folks, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day. I know that there's probably a little finger or a little hand underneath the door trying to get in because you're on your bathroom break, or honestly, you're during your commute. But whatever it might be, folks, I know that it gets tough. I know that, here's the thing, everybody struggles. You are not alone for that, and the only perfect parents out there are on Facebook. So we love and appreciate you. Thanks again for spending some time with us. This is Dr. Nick Fanning, joined with his wife, Alisha. We're signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.